Hi people, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I wanted to get to know each other a little bit better, and one way to find out what someone is like is by finding out what they do not like. So I hope I don't get cancelled. I probably won't because they're not that deep. They're not that hard of takes. So I thought it'd be fun for me to share some of my unpopular book opinions with you today. So let's just get into that and start that. First off, I have a book series that everybody seems to love. Everybody is reading. I see it on TikTok a lot. There are a lot of people talking about this, but I really do not like it. I do not get why people love it so much, even. It's usually you can dislike something and still realize, okay, but this I do understand why people like this, but for me, with this series, I just don't get it. I do not get it. It is, in my opinion, pretty bad. And that is the Akatar series by Sarah J. Maas. Now, to be fair, I only read the first book and the first half of the second book, and then I stopped reading. I DNF'd and I sold them to my local bookstore. To they have a second hand. Well, anyway, it was bad. The story was bad. It was badly written. The protagonist was very annoying to me. Um, I did not like the story. I did not like the middle of it where she was under the mountain, and it just seemed very silly to me. And then the big bad guy or woman was not scary at all. Um, the trials that she had to go through were stupid. It wasn't. It wasn't scary. It wasn't puzzling. It wasn't hard. It doesn't. It didn't seem hard anyway. And then the ending was ridiculous. And then there was this riddle that was so easy. I mean, I really disliked it to the point that where people say how much they love it, I instantly feel like, okay, can I trust them with other recommendations because this is so bad. But okay, I heard later that Sarah J. Maas has written this book when she was very young, and the writing and the story gets progressively better after the first book. But it just it annoyed me. It wasn't for me. I really didn't like it, which is also a good thing if something at least leaves some kind of impression and some kind of feelings. It's still good, right? But no, I did not like it at all. So don't hate me for that, please. But yeah, no, I do not get the hype train of Akatar at all. Now, on a similar note, there is one writer that I really want to get into, and everybody is praising this writer all the time, and I, for some reason, cannot seem to get past the first few pages of his books. And this is Stephen King, and this is a me problem. I should definitely start reading his books when I am more in the mood for something like his books, but for some reason I just cannot get into them. But I did get Fairy Tale from him, so I'm going to try and get into that one because I love fairy tales. So I thought the book Fairy Tale would probably be the one for me that I can get into, and I do not think that this is because I am absolutely sure that this is not something that is a Stephen King problem. It's a me problem. I should definitely get over myself and try and read Stephen King books. I also think it's the genre for me because I don't know, something about thrillers and horror books. They are just kind of boring to me, especially in the first few chapters. So maybe that's the reason why. But come on, Stephen King is one of the best writers of our age, right? So I should just find the one for me, and that way I will probably get into him for sure. Let's talk about the next one. Romance books are also not something that I am that into. I do really love Ellie Hazelwood's romance books because they are so, the banter is just so good to me. And I did read Icebreaker from Hannah Grace, which I really loved as well. So maybe I haven't read that many romance books that suited me, but usually I don't really like romance. I go for fantasy more. So if you have any really good banter, really funny and easy to read romance recommendations, please leave them for me because I usually find them just boring and silly and stupid and annoying. A lot of time I find them annoying as well. So please leave some really good romance recommendations for me. I hope I can get into romance more because they are easy and quick reads and funny. And, I really like romance movies, so why not books? But that brings me to another point. Usually, sex scenes in books are just really uncomfortable for me. The way they talk about the acts that they are doing and the body parts that they are seeing and handling, and it just cringes me out a lot of the time. I can definitely do without, but like I said, Icebreaker was a very good book, and I really liked the way sex scenes were described in that one. So it's probably less about the sex scenes in general. It's not like I cringe because of sex. I'm fine with sex for sure, but it is the way that it is written usually that cringes me out. It's just, for example, in Akatar, the sex scenes really cringed me out as well because of the way the person that is narrating the scene is telling about it. The way they are describing it is usually just cringy to me. And I just want to skip. And when a lot of the plot is about the sexual tension and then the sex scenes are not it, the entire book falls flat for me. So maybe that's also something that's just, I just don't like the way Sarah J. Maas writes them. Maybe that's my problem with her. Definitely not entirely because I didn't like all of the writing. But okay, let's stop. Let's stop talking about Sarah J. Maas because I am probably insulting a lot of people here. Sorry about that. Sex scenes. I do not need them in books, and I have specific tastes that usually are not translated into words that well. So anyway, let's move on to the next unpopular book opinion that I have. Now, there seems to be a large group of people that find first person writing very bad. I really don't mind first person. It depends on the book, of course, but usually I like both. I like first person maybe even more than third person. Second person, that's something I cannot get into. I don't like that. First person is just very immersive in the sense that it is almost like you are reading a journal and you really look through the eyes of the main character to see his world and read his thoughts and stuff like that. Third person, you get a way more bigger perspective and see everything more. I don't mind first person. I really enjoy it if it's done well, which I don't like third person if it's done badly. So it depends on the story, I guess, but I really don't mind it at all. And there also seems to be a trend of people saying that listening to an audiobook is not reading, which I why wouldn't it be reading? I saw a TikTok of a girl once that was like reading is not so much looking at words on a page, but it's more about making a story, getting a story and making getting I don't know how to explain this well. When you read, you're not just looking at words on a page. You're imagining everything that you're reading about. And so when you listen to an audiobook, it is the same because you're imagining the world. Also, when I read, it is like I am narrating the book in my head. So it's basically the same as an audiobook, but I just translate the words into sounds myself in my head. So it is not that different. Reading and audiobooks are not that different from each other. I don't know why people are being so mean and saying that audiobooks are not reading. Why do you need to be so judgmental of other people? Also, there's people that are blind and of course they can read Braille, but not every book is available in Braille. So audiobooks would be really great for them. And there's also people that just cannot concentrate well enough on a book, but they can listen to an audiobook. And in that way, they can still consume this type of media. And why would you want to make them feel bad about that? Why can we not just be happy that people are reading, even though it is in an audiobook? An audiobook is reading as well. What's the problem? Who hurt you? I don't get it. Now, the last thing that I wanted to share with you is I really do not enjoy Colleen Hoover's books either. So, also a writer that is very popular that I just don't like. I have only read It Ends With Us, and I think, yeah, I have only read It Ends With Us. So you shouldn't listen to me. I have only read one book from this author, so I definitely cannot say that I don't like any of her books, but I am pretty sure that I don't. I didn't, it's not for me. So, so now that I shared all of my unpopular opinions about books with you, please tell me down below what your unpopular bookish opinions are so that I am not alone in this. But this was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!